You know, it is a lot of women, and I can relate with them and they can relate with me.
I just felt at that time in my life I needed to have a lot of women that cared.
Like woman with woman, she feel everything about her patient.
79% of the people that work here are female. Our primary care provider staff, 85% women. So our doctors, our nurse practitioners, our physician's assistants, and led by a female team of clinical directors. So it's very different than what you might get in the world of hospitals and academic medicine.
Street medicine is meeting your patient where they are in the street. And that might be at the beach, in a shelter, under a bridge. 10% of the women that we see at Venice Family Clinic are homeless. Being on the street as a woman makes you extremely vulnerable. A lot of our patients, unfortunately, are raped or abused. And those types of things have a huge impact on not only their physical health, but also their mental health. We always keep that in mind, that they've suffered some type of trauma. So we actually call that trauma-informed care. It's of utmost importance when we're working with our homeless women. I couldn't spend a single night on the street. I would die, you know, and these women, they are out there every night. If we find a chronically homeless female, our teams will really go into action mode. Like, what can we do to help? How can we help now?
I remember when I was interviewing her, she said, "Why are you interviewing me? I'm 7 months pregnant." And I said, "Look, you're not going anywhere. You've been coming here since you're 9 years old. We're clearly in your heart. This is what you want to do."
I came from Egypt 21 years ago, and I left my country to come here to be free. My church told me about the clinic because we don't have income, we don't have a job. And Dr. Luisa, she take care for everything for my health. When I came first time, I can't explain what I need to tell her, but she understands what I feel. After my son passed away, she know Joseph, and she understand everything, and transfer to social worker, like mom with mom. She understands that feeling.
Most recently, she turned up, I got an email from a colleague saying, "Is this your doctor at the border?"
About 20 medical professionals traveled from Los Angeles to San Diego. They brought medical supplies with them, all in hopes of making a difference during a time of crisis.
We've been watching the suffering and pain in the news, and just sitting there and feeling sorry for them isn't enough. We have to do something.
It was hard to see so much trauma. I mean, I think the thing I remember, I saw a very young mother with 2 kids. She was breastfeeding one kid and holding the hand of another, and she didn't have a stroller, she didn't have a purse, she had just what was on her back. So being Mexican American and being a first generation in this country, I understand a lot of the things that they've been through.
She's a human before a doctor.
I was 6.5 months pregnant and was being abused. So I ended up at the hospital and lost a baby. They asked, "Did someone push you?" But they asked me in front of him. So I couldn't say anything.
Gloria came to us and was really, for a while, an executive assistant.
While I was doing that job, I saw this poster. Some of the questions are, does your partner control what you do, who you see or talk to, or where you go? Does your partner take your money? And all of them pertain to me.
And we began to start a domestic violence program, and she raised her hand and said, "I want to do this. I've had this experience, I can do this."
Someone who's experienced it or has more experience in it, that's where you need to go. That's what I believe. That's what I would tell anyone. And I come to the Venice Family Clinic to see Gloria Hernandez. I've been coming here for almost 10 years. I felt safe in her office. I felt safe coming to this clinic because I knew no one could see. It was like I was coming to a doctor's appointment instead.
The women feel safe coming here because being in a domestic violence situation is, you're very isolated, you're controlled.
If I hadn't had her in my life, honestly, I adore her. I mean, I really say to her all the time, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't because of you. Start.
Call this free confidential hotline. This is a hotline at the time, but now we have my number. Yeah.
At Venice Family Clinic, we lead with our hearts.
Venice family, like my second home.
I feel like this is my safe place. It's like my home.
To my doctor, I love you, sweetie. She know I love her. I always have, and I think I always will. I love my doctor.